Ooh, what's up guys, JohnOrigins here. Today got a Pokemon Showdown replay, and it is another game from the GBA League tournament, the round robin tournament that I have been doing, and it's been a lot of fun. 2 games down, and this was the second game that we had out of the 3 games overall in the group, and it was an alright game. It gave me a lot of good information about how my teams are working out. I actually really like the team. I actually really like the look of this team. It's got a solid core in the form of a Zoomerl, Jirachi, Hydreigon. And that's a really powerful core that I think is going to work really well. It also has the RU threats known as Cresselia and Gligar, which are great defensively. And also my Cresselia, being a calm mindset, has a really good offensive pressure against all of his team. So that's good. Jirachi, it might do a bit of work this game. It's an offensive subtoxic set, and I think so. And then Florges is my special defensive wall, which his team cannot touch. Now, going into this game, I feel like I should explain this because there's a lot of thought before the match, before you actually play it, because you can see the 9 Pokemon that your opponent will have. So what happened is I looked at his team, and for outside of the Greninja, which he didn't bring, my Cresselia had fantastic sweeping capabilities against the majority of his team, because I could set up on Pokemon such as Tangrowth and Gramatik, which he bought both of them. So as long as I can get a free switch into that, I can start setting up. Also, his team had a Darmanitan, which he didn't bring, which my team didn't look the most good against. So I definitely brought a Zoomerl with me as some sort of fire check, and also to have the water type priority. And I also have Hydreigon, which resists stuff, and because it's Scarf, it would outspeed the Darmanitan. But luckily for me, my opponent SharpDressedGaming, he didn't bring either of them, so I was actually looking in a fantastic position at team preview, because I made these preparations that weren't needed, but in fact it really helped me. I didn't bring my Amoonguss because of the Darmanitan. He had a Vivillon and the Noivern that would beat my Amoonguss 1v1, and also Mega Medicham with its Psychic type stab. I didn't bring Landorus T because he had the Gramatik, which I wouldn't be able to do much to, and Tangrowth. So I really didn't bother. And Greninja, which would outspeed it if I weren't Scarfed. And then finally I didn't bring Heatran. It would have been good Heatran because it does check Vivillon, Noivern. It stops fire spam from Darmanitan, and it also beats what's the other one? Did I say Tangrowth? I might have. But it got beat by Garchomp, Darmanitan if it had superpower, and Mega Medicham, and Greninja. So I didn't bother bringing that either. But this was the team that I brought. It ended up going pretty well for me. Spoiler alert. But let's just get into the game and see how things go. So I'm going to lead off with my Hydreigon because it is Choice Scarf against this Tangrowth. I was kind of expecting it to be defensive, but I just wanted to pop him with a Fire Blast straight away. It would OHKO if he weren't Assault Vest. Now, thinking back at it, it was a bad play going for the Fire Blast. I should have just gone straight for the U-turn because I would get momentum. And also, I didn't know that his Tangrowth would have been Assault Vest or not, so he might have lived the Fire Blast, and then it could have hit me with like a Focus Blast or a knockoff, get rid of my Choice Scarf, which wouldn't have been good because then I wouldn't be able to outspeed Garchomp, presuming he wasn't Scarfed. But if I switch out into my Florges, a lot of things that happen. Most of this game, you will find out, is Florges versus Gramatik, purely because I'm waiting for an opportunity to get a free switch into my Cresselia to set up, and my opponent is has to stay in, because if you look at his team, Tangrowth will get 2-hit KO'd by the Moonblast, X-Bob will not appreciate the attack, and also risk getting a special attack fall. The Vivillon won't take it very well because the Vivillon is not bulky, and it really can't do anything back outside of Spore. Well, Steep Powder. The Medicham has a very good chance to be OHKO'd by Moonblast. It does 97 to 115%. And then his Garchomp will just get popped by Moonblast. So he has no real switch-ins. So it's just a case of me and my opponent Wish Protecting, Wish Aromatherapying, Rest Sleep Talking for a very long period of the game, which obviously is not the exciting, but it's just what you have to do. And eventually I believe he, I think it's after this turn maybe, because he's going to predict my Aromatherapy. He's gonna make a bad play. He's gonna switch out into his Medicham and get his Mega Evolution off. Because if you don't know, once you stay in with your Mega, you have to Mega Evolve it straight away because it's classed as the Mega that you're bringing. So he's gonna Mega Evolve his Mega Medicham as I go for the Protect just to scout for Fake Outs. And he showed me the Bullet Punch, and I did a quick calc. I was like, this isn't going to kill me. And it only does between 60 and 70%. And then I looked at my Moonblast basically OHKOing it. I was like, well, yeah, what is he doing? So he sacks his Mega, which obviously wasn't going to be doing much because I do have the Cresselia in my back pocket, which counters it, but still. That happened. Then he brings in his Garchomp. I'm just going to make the safe play into my Gligar because I do check it really well, as he ends up getting the crit Iron Head, which literally does nothing. And what this enables me to do is get up my Stealth Rocks, meaning Vivillion's potential sash is broken, and also I just get some residuals on the rest of his guys. And then I can U-turn out into my Azumarill, predicting the Sleep Powder. Like I said, looking at his team, Azumarill is the most useless to me because of the Gramatik and the Tangrowth, so switching that into a Sleep Powder was fine. I could then make the play out into Florges and then go for game. I know it might sound early to go for game, it's 5-6, it's very close, but all I need is the opportunity. All I need to happen is for Gramatik or Tangrowth to stay in, and then me to get a free switch into Cresselia on a turn where he is not attacking, or if he's in with Gramatik to Sleep Talk, I get lucky. And then what I should just be able to do is set up a sub and win from there. Because I did some calcs, and the main threats that I'm looking at in terms of stopping Cresselia's sweep are the 2 Pokemon on his team that carry the sound moves, aka Vivillon with its Bug Buzz, its super effective Bug Buzz, and then the Expel with the potential Choice Specs Boom Burst. When I did my calcs, I noticed that Vivillon, even if my Cresselia has no boosts, doesn't even do half to Cresselia. Vivillon is so weak. It literally cannot touch me, and when I'm at that +1, +2, +3, once I get to round +3, it won't even break subs, even if it could, obviously, because Bug Buzz goes through subs. It only does about 18%, so I was looking fan-fucking-tastic at that point. Also, his Exploud, Choice Specs isn't going to be doing much as long as I can get set up. And as you can see by my opponent's series and plays, unfortunately, he stays in the with the Gramatik for way too long. As soon as that Cresselia came in, I would have been switching out into Vivillon, because I would not be allowing that Cresselia to set up. But what my opponent does, it allows me to get up to +2 or maybe even +3 before making the switch out into a Pokemon, meaning that my Cresselia is at a really, really good position, and he literally has nothing on his team to break my subs now. What he has to do now is rely on crits, and as long as I keep my Cresselia relatively healthy, he will not be able to OHKO me even with a critical hit. And that's the point that it gets to. What, I'm at +2, +3 now? Basically, I can get up a sub now. He now chooses to switch out to Vivillon, but it's a little bit too late. As you can see by this Bug Buzz damage that's going to happen, he literally does nothing. As you can see, he does a solid 18% to me, which is like, whatever, that's not even damage. Cresselia is just so bloody good. It is such a good Pokemon, and even if he brings out this Exploud, I outspeed it. I can get a Moonlight up, because with a crit he'll do 85%, and I do this from experience. So as long as I can get up to a good range of HP, like 80%ish, then I should be okay to take even a crit. And he does 81%. I live with 2%. I knew I would live that because of experience. Playing in the IE tier a lot has really made me known the potential power of Exploud and Cresselia respectively. So this is game. I'm spinning it up now because there's actually no point of me dragging this on. But yeah, my team countered his team. It was a pretty unfair matchup, unfortunately, for him. He probably could have prepared more and bought maybe Diamantine and even Greninja. They would have been a lot of help to his team. He probably didn't need Vivillon. Vivillon is a really waste of time, especially if I had the Florges. And I also had the potential Heatran, so I don't really know why he bought it. But yeah, I can set up to +6 on this Melodic now, and signal the GG button. So on to the last guy, the Cryptomagniote. Here's my last opponent. I have 2 wins under my pocket, and as the standings are currently as I'm recording this, I have 2 wins, 0 losses. Gargleflop has 1 win, 1 loss. SharpDressedGaming has played all 3 of his games and he lost all 3. And then the Crit Magnet has played 1 and he's got 1, and he's got +3. So as long as if Gargleflop wins against the Crit Magnet, I'm pretty much guaranteed to get in to the final round, so that one's going to be interesting. And also if I beat the Crit Magnet, which will be a good game because his team is very stacked, I'll get through. So Looking to the final game now, and yeah, so this game's over. Cresselia just doing what it does best, and you've seen it loads of times on my channel, just absolutely kicking ass. I get the 6-0, I get to my second win, I get +8 in a win-loss, which is really good. It just helps so much going into the final bits if you get that 6-0 in there. It's really good. The 2-0 wasn't really good for me, it wasn't enough. I would have wanted a 3, maybe 4-0, but I didn't play very well. But this game, it went a lot smoother for me. I didn't even use Jirachi. Didn't even bring it in. And I only used Hydreigon and Azumarill and Gligar in 1 turn. Well, 2 turns for Gligar. So, it's like, that was just simple, unfortunately. It wasn't a great game, but it was a game nevertheless. In the tournament, I did win, and it's going to help me hopefully progress to the final. So, all links and stuff like that to like the tournament information will be in the description below. My opponent's channel will be in the description below. My Twitter and stuff like that in the description below. I've been JohnOrigins, and I'm out. So peace!